Hello and welcome to another Metroidvania map announcement video. This one is for 9 Souls, and in contrast to several map videos that I've done in the past where I've spoken about the game and I've reviewed the game, I'm not going to be doing that with this one because it is a Metroidvania 100% for certain, but it also has a lot of Sekiro-like or Souls-like elements, and that is a genre that attracts a certain crowd, a certain type of often quite vocal person who isn't necessarily open to critique for their new favourite Git Gud experience, skill issue, filtered, yada yada yada, all of those kind of things. I do not want to deal with those kind of comments, and if I do get any of those kind of comments, I'm literally just going to delete them. Take your toxicity elsewhere. If you can have a constructive and civilized debate, sure, talk to me in the comments below, but otherwise I'm just not interested. The map, as you can tell, is quite a horizontal map. It's quite a wide world rather than a tall world, and there's a reason for that based on the actual geography of the game. But everything that I could think of in the game that you might need to know is here on this map. And I tried to fit it together as best I could for the kind of general shape of the world. Let's zoom in to 25% so you can see more clearly what we are talking about. So everything in the game can be broken down into one of 4 categories, essentially. You've got bosses, you've got key items, you've got treasure items, you've got lore snippets. And of those things that are, when you get the individual area maps after collecting the map chip in the area, it actually shows you, it tracks for you how many of the things in each area to find you have got. So if, for example, let's take the 8-man facility depths here. It will tell you that there's a mini boss in the area that you may or may not have completed. It will tell you how many treasures there are. Now, treasures count as things like the poisons, things like the recyclable materials, things like the tower fruit upgrades, things like key items, things like jades. Those all count as treasures. These little treasure maps, these little treasure chests that I've put on, do not count towards that. They are simply there to offer you some currency. I think I've got most of them, but I cannot guarantee that I've got 100% of them. I've got no way of tracking. I did a pretty exhaustive scan of the map, so I think I've got most of them, but they are purely there for you picking up currency. So we've got all the key items that you can give to the NPCs. We've got all of the upgrade items that you can give to the vendor to upgrade your arrows and stuff. We've got all of the fruit that allow you to upgrade your basic sword abilities and damage. I highly recommend getting that. And actually, on the subject of recommendations, very, very early on in the game, you will get the Tai Chi kick. This is your first real Metroidvania ability. And after that, you've actually got a choice of 2 ways to go. You can head right down into the Power Reservoir East, or you can head left back through the 8-man facility after getting the Tai Chi kick. If you find that enemies are a little bit spongy and that your damage is a little bit low, I highly recommend going left first, because that means you can actually pick up a couple of upgrades to your combat capabilities. One there, and technically speaking, you could even get up to the one in the Galactic Dock if you go a little bit out of the way. You could have 3 potential upgrades to your damage before you get to the first major boss, who's a little bit of a roadblock. If you don't go that way, you come straight down. You can access him quite early, and I found that he was very, very spongy indeed. I managed to beat him fairly straightforwardly with a couple of upgrades, but I was really struggling with none whatsoever. But anyway, that was an aside. I said I'm not talking about the game. So I've tried to mark on basically every single thing that I could think of. So all of the Jade, including what they do, the locations of the map data, the key items that you can give to NPCs, the location of the merchants, all the save points, any hints, tips and trips, doors that are, that you have to access from a certain side, breakable walls that are hiding things, all of the locations for the lore, locations where you can hack certain things to open certain doors, hack the platforms and so on and so forth. All of that is on here. All of the poisons that you can hand in for health upgrades are on here. All the bosses, links between zones, where you start the game, just everything that I thought you could possibly need in order to successfully and easily, such as it is, find your way around this world. It is a game of surprising length because of its combat. And if you're not a fan of the parrying gimmick, essentially, I highly recommend you stick the game on the story mode difficulty, because the story is excellent. It is really well written. It's really well characterized. It actually surprised me how much I got invested in the story, and by the end I was actually a little bit emotional. If you get the true ending, because there's two endings to the game, and I'll talk about the endings in a second, not what they are, but a little note about the endings. There's a real sense of, I've come to like these characters. I've liked the interactions that they've had. So if you're the kind of person that thinks, the game's got a load of dialogue, I don't want that, you're not going to enjoy this, because there's a fair chunk of unskippable cutscenes. A note on the endings, because I said I was going to. Down here there is a point of no return. I'm not going to keep the map on that. There is a point of no return, and the point of no return is interesting because it's not actually just before the end of the game. There's probably another hour of, at least, depending on how long it takes you to defeat the final boss, there's probably at least another hour of game after that point of no return. But there is a world-changing event, and after you have completed the game on that file, you can load back in, and it puts you back at that point of no return, so you can get both endings on the same save file. You don't need to play through the game all over again. There are a couple of things that you might need to play the game through all over again, though. There's an achievement for breaking a pot, which I assume is done in the Four Seasons Pavilion, assuming you've given your little buddy some clay. I didn't know about this because I don't read achievements in advance, so I missed out on that because I can no longer do it. Likewise, over in the Imperial District passages, there is a big robot boss here. If you do not defeat that boss in the big mech suit that you can unlock through there, you miss out on that achievement. There's no other way of getting it, and because that is probably 15 plus hours into the game, you might be a little bit frustrated by that for having to play through the entire game again. So, if you don't like Souls-likes, or if you are not good at parrying, stick the game on the story difficulty, stick the damage slider up to 200%, 300%, it goes all the way up to 1000%, which basically one-shots everything if you just don't care. But 200% is a pretty good baseline, I think. I had to go at it after I'd finished the game on standard mode. It's like, why did I not play the game like this? And you can also change the amount of damage you take from 100% all the way down to 1% if you really want to. Somewhere between 10, 25 to 50%, I think, would be a pretty decent feeling experience if you just want to play through the excellent story. I cannot say how much I enjoyed the story in this game without spoiling it. So, the map is available in the usual locations. Head over to demajen.co.uk, type in 9 souls or scroll down to N, because that's what 9 begins with, and that will take you through to the appropriate resources where you can either go to the coffee.com store page and buy the highest resolution version of the map as part of a map pack, or there will be a free version available in the Google Drive at a lower resolution and quality. It's not there yet, but it will be by the time I finish recording or finish putting out this video. Thank you very much for the support. Thank you very much for watching. As I said, if you want to talk about the combat in the game, I am more than happy to do so, but keep it civil, none of the toxicity. You will just have your comment deleted without warning. Take your toxicity and bullshit elsewhere. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.
Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.